Live at College of the Desert, where things are all calm right now. Greg.
Yeah, Karen, good evening. The unfortunate truth is that some students told us they assumed it was an active shooter situation when they saw the large police presence. Fortunately, that was not the case. Students also tell us they feel protected if anything like that were ever to happen.
I think 8 cop cars, some sheriffs walking back into their cars with their assault rifles.
A jarring sight for Jacob Peltak, the College of the Desert student. Many of his classmates saw firsthand a serious response on the school's campus.
We were notified at about 1:45 by the Sheriff's Department that we had a report of an active shooter on campus.
A situation campus director of security Ray Griffith and his team trained for but hope never happens. Sheriff's deputies blocked exit and entry to the campus, locked down the Child Development and Training Center, and began looking with security guards.
There was no panic, there was no obviously running, there was nothing. But we still went on and did a complete search of the whole campus to make sure we did not have an active shooter.
The search came up empty and everything returned to normal. Now the attention shifts to where the very serious report came from.
It was a mere miscommunication. Somebody got some bad information.
Information the Sheriff's Department says they never take lightly, especially with the history of school shootings in our country. The response took many students by surprise.
It's not like every day you get to see 2 sheriffs, like running after somebody.
Arturo Partida could only guess what prompted the actions from deputies, and that's a concern for some students.
It'd be real great if they had some kind of like alert notification or something, for us students.
Griffith says the school does have an emergency alert system through text message, but chose not to use it to avoid creating a panic. With student safety in mind, he's proud of the emergency response from his team, even in what proved to be a false alarm.
It worked very well. It's maybe not the way I'd like to run a test of it, but it worked very well.
Now that emergency situation lasted less than an hour. The Sheriff's Department continues to investigate how that information got passed down. Reporting live, Greg Lee, News Channel 3, Palm Desert. Karen?
The problem with not notifying the students or teachers that it was happening was that people have so many questions and then people start to talk and make things up.
Yeah, Karen, you bet. A lot of rumors were spreading around the campus early this afternoon when they first got notice and students started to see the officers. I'm sure that's something they'll consider as they continue to train for situations like this.
Very good. Thank you, Greg.
No cases of crocodile have been reported in California, let alone the Coachella Valley. Medical professionals hope it stays that way. Greg Lee, News Channel 3.
Continues our team coverage from Palm Springs International, where he spoke with some of the passengers who were diverted to the valley. Greg.
Yeah, Karen, good evening. Worth noting that inside of the airport today here at Palm Springs, there was an increased presence of security, not only to TSA, but as well as the Palm Springs Police Department. Spoke to one officer who said they just wanted to provide some comfort and sense of safety for people who've had a very scary day.
It's kind of just hard to believe, it's hard to believe that something just happened. And, terrible things keep happening.
Levi Holloway is still trying to wrap his mind around a hectic morning. He and his girlfriend boarded an early flight from Chicago to Los Angeles, traveling for a wedding in Temecula. Those plans quickly changed when news of the shooting at LAX reached the plane.
So we just started watching a live feed of what was going on. And then within a couple minutes, the pilot came on and said that they're going to slow down and, wait for instructions,
Virgin America instructed 2 LA-bound flights to land on the runway at the Palm Springs International Airport. The one from Chicago, another from Newark, New Jersey. Jason Wexler was on that flight with others who found transportation out of the desert.
The airline chartered a bus, a few different buses actually, to go back to LA.
Wexler waited for his girlfriend to come get him, all the while thinking about the timing of his flight.
It's pretty scary. Yeah, I guess if I had been there like a few hours earlier, yeah, I think they were in the terminal of Virgin America.
Terminal 3, home to Virgin and a few other domestic airlines. Holloway and Wexler finally left PSP and continued with their trips, empathizing with a hectic day for air travelers everywhere.
When it happens in a place that people commute, thousands of people commute every day, obviously affects people all over the world.
Now, also being felt for outgoing flights out of Palm Springs to Los Angeles. A 4:25 flight on United Express to Los Angeles from PSP was canceled a short time ago. You can imagine those people still trying to find arrangements, trying to figure out what to do and how to get to their final destinations. We want to encourage travelers to always call your airline and find out the status on your flights in coming days. Reporting live, Greg Lee, News Channel 3, Palm Springs. Karen?
A hectic day at several airports because of what happened at LAX. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, Karen, good evening. It's important to note 2 professional artists completed the mural you can see behind me. In fact, the duo was just commissioned by the city of Montreal to do some work. Be that as it may, it doesn't change the fact that the owner of this building may have to paint over this mural. This massive mural of 2 women in war paint holding a snake doesn't sit in an art gallery or a museum. It takes up an entire outer wall of a business in Palm Springs. The business, Bar, sits on North Palm Canyon Drive in downtown.
I think that it's been overwhelmingly positive, and people absolutely want this sort of thing and this activity to continue.
But it can't continue because it's illegal. For now, while the city approved the red, black, and gray used in the mural, it did not okay the artistry.
There's an approval process for colors. Obviously, then we have quite a few regulations on signage. Murals is one of those areas where there is no process.
While the city council considers the process, it must listen to the concerns of people like Nat Reed. He owns an art gallery across the street. Reed's art focuses on what he says the city's known for, a stark contrast to the mural.
It doesn't really reflect the Palm Springs style that I associate, with sort of the 50s Rat Pack and that sort of thing.
While the mural and another one inside of Bar may not match how some view Palm Springs, Cameron argues it's the way to keep the city relevant and appealing to a younger demographic.
If the vendors or the merchants or the city sort of has a problem with this, they're really telling the people who are developing and investing in our economy here that they're not welcoming to those customers.
The fate of the mural and overall appearance of downtown Palm Springs now rests with the city council, a challenge of giving enough attention to culture and to commerce.
We're looking to be innovative and creative, but at the same time, there's community standards that every city has, and so we try to find that balance.
Now, Reddy also said it'll take 30 to 45 days before this reaches the city council, which means we won't see a resolution until December. Reporting live, Greg Lee, News Channel 3, Palm Springs. Karen?
And of course, we understand you have to follow the rules. That is some beautiful artwork, though, isn't it?
Yeah, Karen, you bet. A lot of people have been admiring it, coming by, snapping photos with it, so it's certainly popular down here. We'll see what happens.
Okay. The first time this has happened.
Yeah, Karen, good evening. Definitely not the first time. In fact, this logo that you can see behind me has changed several times over the last 60 years because of complaints. However, this one may not go away anytime soon. Every year since 1931, students at Coachella Valley High School learned the same cheer, Go Arabs. The mascot never far away, doing its part to pump up the crowd. Now one group wants it all to change.
That logo is a very stereotypical logo. It's very offensive to many Arabs and many Arab Americans.
The American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee, or ADC, sent this letter to the Coachella Valley Unified School District. It urges the school to drop the Arab name because it's no longer tolerable in the 21st century and enforces negative stereotypes of Arabs and Arab Americans.
We're very, very sensitive to that and how we're going to work to make sure, maybe sometimes we should have some consultations when we're representing other groups and cultures.
The group takes offense to the nickname, the mascot, logos painted on walls, and a traditional halftime performance at games. The Genie Dance features a girl belly dancing for the Arab mascot. The ADC says it's just too much.
Bombers, billionaires, or belly dancers. There's a lot more to Arab Americans and the Arab culture and the Arab heritage than what's being depicted by this high school.
Alumni disagree. They believe the mascot honors the Arab culture and its role in the East Valley.
It wasn't to discriminate, it was to say, hey, thank you, Middle East, Iraq, Algeria, all those areas that donated, or didn't donate, we bought it from them, the date shoots, and now the date industry.
Conversations between the ADC and the district are already underway. CVUSD plans to discuss the issue at its November 21st meeting. For Ramirez, there's no budging.
This is the way it is. This is what we like to do, and we're proud of being Arabs.
Now, the ADC also began circulating a petition today asking people to sign to drop the logo. Now, this also begs the question, what about the Palm Desert Aztecs, the Palm Springs Indians, the Indio Rajas? I also asked Dr. Adams about that. He said perhaps that's a discussion that needs to be had. Reporting live, Greg Lee, News Channel 3, Coachella.
Police station, which could soon be on the chopping block. Greg.
Yeah, Karen, good evening. The clear consensus from residents at tonight's meeting was don't touch our police department. While the city council says they don't want to, they say this situation's bad enough, they might have to make some tough decisions.
This is like, an asteroid's going to hit the Earth.
Interim City Manager Robert Adams gave a bleak outlook for Desert Hot Springs. The city's budget faces an imminent deficit, anywhere between $3.3 and $6.9 million. Whatever the number, Adams told the council if nothing changes, the general fund runs out on March 31st, giving the city a financial crisis and could force it to file for bankruptcy.
Right now we have a problem and we don't have a solution today. We have some potential solutions, we have some suggestions, and possibly by next week we'll start having some serious recommendations.
The council made some of those suggestions in front of a packed room of more than 120 DHS residents. The vocal crowd applauded some ideas, but made a clear stand on public safety.
One thing Desert Hot Springs could not afford to do is get rid of our police department. We cannot do that, and we can't lower their salaries. You get what you pay for in life.
Mayor-elect Adam Sanchez says he believes the city can avoid bankruptcy, but not without looking at all options, including some cuts to the force.
When the police department and everything under it is over 60% of the budget, realistically, we have to go straight across the board.
Councilman-elect Joe McKee made his debut and took the opportunity to ask the city to come together.
We need help from everyone that's here. If you have suggestions and things that we can do, we need to put together a cadre of volunteers to help with some of the things we need to do.
The council will decide where to make cuts at their November 19th meeting. While it's unclear how it might affect public safety, Adams did make it clear this is not a quick fix.
I don't think it's something we can solve in 1 year. What we want to do is be able to solve enough that we have time to really look at how we provide services.
Now, right now, there are 34 authorized positions here at the police department. 29 are filled. Those 5 vacant spots could be the first to be cut. It will remain to be seen how deep those cuts do run coming on that next meeting next week. Now, worth noting, Yvonne Parks, there was speculation she might ask for a recount regarding the mayoral election that was certified today by the Riverside Registrar's office. We asked her again for comment. She said no and ran from our cameras. Reporting live, Greg Lee, News Channel 3, Desert Hot Springs. Karen?
So she's not talking. Now, this council has been long divided. Is it still looking that way?
Well, Karen, you have to wonder that spot that Adam Sanchez gives up on council because he takes that mayoral position by law should go to Jan Pye, who was initially off the council. We'll see how her being added or if she accepts that position will affect that dynamic of the council.
Looks like they're going to have to work together to get some things